Hello, lovelies. Mama Maggie Ward here, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine sufferer, and today we are talking about the end of NaNoWriMo. Nemo Nano. So here we are at a very big juncture of an organization that has existed for a decade and a half. And to be honest, I'm not surprised. I myself began doing NaNoWriMo challenges in 2016 after my stroke. My first Nano, I heard about it in 2016. The first time I participated was in NaNoWriMo camp. So I was doing one of the camps and I wrote both. The first one was called Blue Butterflies in one camp. The second one was called Wild and Enemy. They were both about Pagosa Cliffs. It was part of a dare, and I I found it fun. I found the idea intriguing. 50,000 words in a month. The camps were a little less structured. The website was very dated at the time, but I loved joining the community. I enjoyed it so much, and um, ordered the coffee mugs. Several years worth of NaNoWriMo coffee mugs, and so let's kind of look at what is behind this. Now, if you are one of the people who still had an open Nano account like me, then you received an email. And I'm going to read that email to you. It says, to our NaNoWriMo community, we come to you today with sad news. After 6 years of struggling to sustain itself financially, NaNoWriMo, the nonprofit, will begin the process of shutting down, explaining how we are both simple and complex, the funding woes that have threatened so many nonprofits in recent years, and an extraordinary trend. Many beloved organizations announced their closure last year. Many more are fighting for their lives. Media coverage of the financial crisis within the sector, especially among arts nonprofits, has been widespread. Yet there are ways in which NaNoWriMo is extraordinary and reasons why we had hoped we could, sorry, I have to scroll, bring we could buck that trend. The sheer size of our community, its global reach, and its longevity held an impressive level, even during a tumultuous year. There is no shortage of writers who want to participate in NaNoWriMo. Yet, building community and being able to sustain it are two different matters. 2024 was a revelation year. In order to understand fully how we reached this decision and why we view it as the only alternative, we encourage you to watch this video. I'll include the link in the description about the state of NaNoWriMo, and the video contains some important acknowledgement in the end information about logistics of our next step. Most importantly, the video shares real data information that organizations has not only discussed previously. The plot is thicker than you might think. We recognize the closure of NaNoWriMo represents a huge loss to the writing community, and that grief over this outcome will be exacerbated by the challenges of this past 16 months. This is not the ending that anybody wanted or planned, and believe us, if we could have hit the delete button and rewrite this last chapter, we would. We do have hope for the epilogue. What's next for NaNoWriMo? The indebted nonprofit is much different from what's next for actual WriteMos. We hold on We hold no belief that people will stop writing 50,000 words in November and April and July, or stop seeking support for the journey they are on. Many alternatives to NaNoWriMo have popped up this year, and people did find each other in so many ways. It is easier than it was when NaNoWriMo began in 1999 to find your writing tribe online. Our greatest hope at this moment is that you do two things: support on art nonprofits you love and keep writing. Your stories matter. Thank you for all you have done for the organization, especially for each other over the years. Sincerely, the NaNoWriMo team. And then there's a few notes onto it in the end. Yes, I got this email March 31st at 6:24 p.m. And so did many other night Rightmos. You are probably going to see a lot of talk about this today. And honestly, this has been something that some of us have seen for a few years. So, so how did my Rightmo journey begin? Well, I originally signed up, got my account, my official NaNoWriMo account, October 17th, 2020. That was my first November Nano. And since then, I have written so many different words and found such a wonderful community. In total, over all of my time and all of my recorded projects, writing, editing, everything, camp, editopia, and things like that, I have come across 1.9 million words. And so it's as a wordaholic, I loved the site. I loved the tracking. And I was very disturbed though by the thing that came to light in 2023 of the um, child endangerment and grooming issue. Now, I will be honest with you, I have been seeing bullying in the groups, in the forums, in the cabins from 2019. The changes that they needed to make after the child abuse scandal, and that they admit that their staff went too slowly and that there were too many outside nano groups, outside of their control, people who were claiming to be nano associated, Discord servers, things like that, that were causing problems. It The investigation into child safety was one of the things that they really tried to step up after November 23. They discovered, something that we all knew. The staff and the volunteers were not background checked. They were not required to have the necessary training or even confirming that they were actual educators. It went on to other issues. The financing became a problem after 2020. And also, since 2018, you can see that every single year, the number of participants has dropped by thousands, with the most significant drop between 2020 and 2021. So it's really, you can track the trends to see how the organization itself was declining. Beyond the child endangerment issue, there was also an issue that happened last year with a statement concerning AI and this implied tone that people who are neurodivergent cannot write without AI, without generative AI, which completely goes against their diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. Um, it it really, really set some people the wrong way. And we understand that this was a method of getting sponsorship from one group. And the most surprising thing about the video when they were talking about alternative fundings and how to refund the group because they've had very, very few donations, and we're 3 months in, and they have not even reached the $10,000 mark. This is an organization that needs over $1 million a year. And end of the first quarter, they don't even have $10,000 in the bank. So that's a very big red flag. But when they talk about what are other alternatives for funding, they are managing a huge debt load. They are in a bad position to seek other fundings. But the numerous AI players approached us with offers of sponsorship, but we turned down most of them because they didn't align with our mission. That statement, I think, was the most surprising one to me after last year's statement about generative AI and the necessity for atypical neurodivergent writers to use it. So that was really the biggest surprise to me in all of this. Um, I'm really sad to see it go because there are so many beneficial resources. Um, a 6-week plan to nano prep your novel with suggestions, a YouTube channel with lots of suggestions, videos, old streams, the Camp Nano website, which is for tracking goals, community resources, and things like that. Um, and the whole push toward the National Novel Writing Month. It was a fun challenge. The original one started just as a group of writers all the way back in 1999. So it's been around for a long time, and we're sad to see it go. Sadly, the previous administration of this nonprofit that did not handle things well. They did not set up things, and unfortunately, they fell victim to something that happens in a lot of nonprofit organizations, and that is bad actors. Unfortunately, the bad actors ruined it for all of us. So where does this leave the rest of us going forward with Camp Nano which would normally start today, Camp Nano in July, and NaNoWriMo in November? There are a lot of different challenges that have been coming through. There are sprint counting challenges where you count the number of sprints that you write, time challenges, page challenges, not just word count challenges. There's mill wordy, half mill wordy, um, the 1,000 word a day challenge. Oh my goodness, I have a list that I don't know where is in the files of my computer. I didn't look for it when I decided to make this morning. So yeah, I'm sad to see NaNoWriMo go. I myself am doing a 100 sprints writing challenge for April. I plan to do 100 1-hour sprints and see what I can get from there. And I hope that everyone out there can find their of their group, their tribe, their writing community, and join. AuthorTube has been a great outlet for me. I won't say that there aren't problems in AuthorTube because there are some serious division issues and backstabbing issues and clicky issues going on in AuthorTube that is starting to come to light right now in our lovely little world. I'm glad for the corner that I'm in, and I I'm just going to say my friend, author Emma Bennett, has a book out that she put out for NaNoWriMo called Eat, Sleep, Write. That is a NaNoWriMo prep guide. Um, I'll put the link into that in the description too, because it's a very interesting book and it's very good because, the resources offered by NaNoWriMo, the discipline that it helps you create is very important. I'm Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer, and I hope that you have a lovely day. Be blessed.